Good evening and welcome to Marshall Met, episode 35, and with the co-host, with the co-most, Growling Dog. So, anything new and exciting in your life besides eating candy?
How can you tell I was eating candy?
Oh my God.
How
You
can you tell? Not
know what
much,
I've been
man.
admiring you about mostly lately is you've been so health conscious. It's been inspiring.
I actually been doing pretty good. Just
Oh,
on a bit of a health kick right now. So
I get
getting
to
ready getting ready to well, it's I just finished work and I haven't eaten, so
Oh,
it's
okay. So just
it's best to get something in here before I become very ignorant.
okay. Well, that's yes. So by all means, candy away.
Yes, 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 yes.
So, folks, if you're watching, tell us who you're watching from. Smash that like button. And tonight's guest is Master Chad Belly. We're going to be talking about his journey, but more importantly, his camp and that. And without further ado, let's bring him on. I'm so bummed I can't go to camp this year. A matter of fact, I can't go anywhere this spring far as seminars. It's either between one kid going one way and I have to stay home. My kid's 18th birthday falls on one of the seminars. It's just like I'm not doing anything in the spring. Just all these days they just fell on. What are you gonna do?
And I don't even have those excuses. So I just say I'm just too lazy.
I, I can't be bothered. Here he is. So hey, how are you?
Hey guys,
Good,
how are
good,
you doing
good,
tonight?
good. So we saw the intro. One thing I wanted to mention before we get into your camp. One thing I really admire about you, besides how you run your camps, how you just stay clear. Like that's why I was coming because my lighting was down. I was wondering what's going on. In other words, when there's drama going on about whether it's mom or niece or whatever, like I'll see guys, just by FMA discussion in 6 years. I mean, like I tell my students, you don't need to be a psychologist to know what's going on there. Just go to social media, man. All your needs will be met in the psychology field. So, but I think what's I admire about you is even though folks will jump on, they get this guy and there's a third party involved, they'll jump on there, but you just don't. You just say like you stay out of it, you just do your own thing, and I just think that's pretty that's pretty admirable of you. So keep doing you in that regard.
Yeah, no, it's I gotta just
You know what
keep
I mean? Like
training
there's so
and
many other things you could
doing that
do.
stuff and
You know what I
forget
mean?
about
Like
all the
you could
politics
go work on a form or
BS.
something. You know what I mean? Like but instead of
Right.
it's like so kudos to you on that.
No, that's great. It takes so much energy away from everything too. It just
Distracting. Yeah.
and like who
Believe
you know what? And
me,
like I
I don't
said,
got time or energy for that crap.
yeah, and I used to get roped into that when I was younger, when I was, when I thought you had to have some sort of loyalty to a certain group or whatever, but that group's the one that gets you into most trouble. And usually when the trouble's over, the dust settles, you're kind of holding the bag for all of it, right? So no, that's great. It's a good thing.
Yeah. Really just stays out of it, especially with the modern knee stuff. So all right, well anyway, so for the folks who maybe not seen you on a discussion, like just why don't you just give us a background of your martial arts?
I'm started pretty young. Taekwondo kind of led me to, three arts. Because when I went to college, I was kind of in the research mode, and Taekwondo wasn't really filling in the gaps. I got a lot out of the training, but I realized I wanted some close range training. I realized I wanted some, stand up grappling and some grappling skills. And so I started looking. I trained a lot in American Kempo Karate. And actually, Ed Parker and my Kempo teacher are kind of who led me to FMA. My Kempo teacher, Tom Updegrove in Philadelphia, he saw how interested I was in weapons, particularly sticks, and so he brought Remy in for a seminar at our school. And basically, the rest is history. From then on, I just basically found out wherever Remy was, pretty much every weekend, and drove there and took his camp because, yeah, I fell in love with FMA right away. It started to check off boxes that I was having a hard time filling, and realistic training with weapons, combining that weapon training with stand up grappling and throwing. Remy did some really amazing stand up grappling in terms of finishes and locks. That you can do on somebody while they're on the ground and you're standing, so you don't have to get down and dirty. Um, so yeah, it just started checking off all those boxes, and I continued training in Kempo until Parker died, and then the politics started, and I exited, um, and and that was fine. I got a lot out of Kempo, and most of my Arnis students will tell you there's a lot of Kempo in my Arnis, like when I teach them. So I mean, I know it's there, and I know it was valuable. Um, and I've been training with Uncle Bill in Contasilla de Torres since the early 90s. Around the same time, I got my black belt with Remy, started training with Uncle Bill. And I've been training Tai Chi the whole time too, internal arts, Tai Chi, Xingyi, and Bagua.
Nice. Okay. Is looking.
Isn't he always, though?
Never a dull moment on Marshall. Yeah. So, what's the topic of the day? The topic is Master Chad Bailey's progressive Arnis winter camp. I want to make sure I get that right.
Yep.
Yeah, so like most of us, you start out kind of traditional and you segue into, I guess, what at that time was kind of called the eclectics. Uh, and
Right.
so there. But what are,
Most of my mainstream martial arts friends are like, "What are you
yeah.
doing?" And I was like, I'm evolving.
So but you've done some other FMA besides Modern East, right?
For sure. When I would say midway through my training with Remy, I'd gotten my black belt in 90 um, in 1990 from Remy, and then in 92 I graduated from Temple University and moved to Santa Fe, New Mexico to start graduate school for acupuncture. So when I moved out there, I'd had a big long talk with Remy because I knew I was going to be out there for 3-4 years to finish that degree, and I probably wasn't going to see him because he really wasn't traveling to
Mm.
the West Coast. And so he told me, there's a lot of FMA in California. You really need to explore and see what's out there. And so um, definitely time at the Inosanto Academy, and Inosanto Academy introduced me to Edgar Salite. They had a couple seminars there while I was, in town on weekends visiting, and so got to, be educated in some of what Edgar did, and have kept up, at least trying to work on that training since he's been gone with Roger Buelos, whenever I can. Um, and then I got really interested in Largo Mano, and that kind of led me to Kali Silvestrissimo, to there's some really good Largo in Lightning Scientific. There's some great great Largo concepts out there. So, um, and I would say in that sense, very differently than probably most modern Arnis people, we try to include a good bit of Largo in what we do in progressive Arnis. From all the different places I've learned it. We started mostly with the Largo I learned from Billy Bryant, Kadata Scrima, and Cadena Damano. And that kind of gave me an introduction to inside long range, or what fencing would call measure. Um, and and then I've just been trying to look at as many different places to try to find that information, because it seems to be lost in fencing, but it seems to still exist in a lot of Filipino systems. And so Yeah, so Largo was probably the biggest thing that got added, and along the way, I met Kokoi Kenyete through Zach Whitson and my friend Sandor Urban, and then eventually became one of Kokoi's black belts as well. And so we include his close range stick fighting curriculum in what we do in Progressive Arnis.
Why do you think it is? I'm just curious because just made an interesting point how, generally speaking, most of them are these folks. They keep it close. Was that just due to that's what Remy gave them, and so
I mean, it wasn't that Remy didn't have Largo, because in the primary exercise that we practice in modern Arnis in terms of flow and fighting is tappy tappy, or earlier what he called Decadina. And we start that at long range. We're doing a 4 count striking pattern at long range, and then you have to enter from that long range position to do everything you're going to do. So he was showing us long range, and he was showing us how to gauge it and get used to it and comfortable with it. He just didn't do a whole lot of his fighting at long range, and I think that was because his primary focus was self defense. He wanted people to be able to train in modern Arnis and have some basic self defense, and Largo's not it. And so he focused on medio and corto, because when somebody jumps out and surprises you and is going to attack you in a mugging or something, you're usually at mid or close range. So he wanted to put you there and make you comfortable countering and putting the person on the floor and solving the problem. And so I think he focused on that. I think he focused on the practical
is
self
there
defense that
every
came at
seminar I've gone to where there's I'm co-teaching at where somebody's showcasing modern niece or what have you. It's I'm seeing the 4 counts and all that, but it's done pretty close. Like I've yet to see somebody like on the long end, and I was just curious if they do that, or is it or it's rare. And it sounds like from what you're saying.
You don't see a whole lot of Largo. You can definitely ask the other guys like Bruce and Brian and Brom, and they'll probably agree. There's a small percentage of Largo, and then most of it's mid to close range. Because again, that's where all the applications are. That's where all those takedowns that he showed us. That's where all the locks that he showed us. How to mix small circle jiu-jitsu, which he was blending all the times. From his training with Wally J. And I got to spend a lot of time with Wally J too. I never formally, tested in small circle jiu-jitsu, but I spent a ton of time off the mat with him. And yeah, really, really enjoyed my time in training with Wally as well. Um, but yeah, I think my guys in Progressive Arnis, you'll see them blending in Largo all the time. One of my guys, Jason May, who just recently at our instructor camp got his full instructor guru. So now he's Guru Jason May. But he does a really great job of being in mid-range flow, and then boom, gone to long range just for one beat, hit somebody, and then come right back in. So you'll see my guys adding in Largo just simply because we're working on it, and so it just becomes part of what they're
That
flowing
makes sense.
into.
Yeah, I was just curious, that you're at least examining that. I don't think many. I mean, I can't say this for sure, of course, but from what I've seen, I don't think many are doing it. They could be doing it. Yeah, maybe I'm just not seeing it, but
Yeah, it depends. I
yeah,
don't know. I know the guys who
I know that.
hang
Yeah,
out with
right.
me,
They're doing
Bruce,
it.
Ryan, Brom. I know what those guys are doing. I know, Rady and Aldo is considered one of Remy's guys. He's always at Legacy, and we always include him in modern Arnis functions, and he definitely has some Largo in FCS, Filipino Combat Systems. So there. I would say you would have to be. You'd at least have to be
One
considering
would
it,
think,
because
right? I
it's
mean,
there. And if you're doing any kind of stick sparring, um, you got to play a little bit at Largo. I mean, you can't just jump right in all the time, or it's just going to be clash, break. You're going to have to go right back out. So at least the Largo allows you some flow a bit until you get to that mid range, close range. Somebody takes somebody down,
That's what
which is
Renee always does.
So it's funny you say that because I was actually thinking back of all the modern Arnis people that I've met over the years, like coming to gatherings and whatnot, and some of the people that I know who
uh huh.
are fellow full dog brothers now. I remember their first few gatherings where they actually spent a lot more time out in Largo than they did in Corto Medio, just because I think it's a different ball of wax, right, than what they were used to. So playing a very smart game by saying, I'm going to hang out here until I learn to apply what I learned,
Yep.
or,
And like my friend Raymond Floro over in Australia said, with real blades, it tends to be Largo, very, very Largo. I remember most of the sparring I did, probably up through like 95, was pretty much stick sparring. And like in the early 90s, I was in New Mexico, so I was hanging out with Arland, Sanford, and the Dog Brother guys in New Mexico, and trying to get in sparring, whenever we could on Saturdays.
hmm
And I hadn't even really, in my mind, registered blade sparring. As soon as I put a training blade in my hand and I did some sparring, I was like, I want to get to long range.
yeah.
I want to be at long range now, and I want to stay at long range until I see an opening. So, yeah, to me, that was a huge game changer in my mindset when I started sparring with the training blade. Was like, whoa, this thing's gonna cut me, and I don't want to be at mid or close range. Like, I want to wait until I cut his hand off, and then I'll
Or
come
some
into mid
diminishment,
or
right?
close range.
It's
Right.
we had a
At least,
we had
yeah,
a
at least cut him down a little bit.
we had a cutting class a couple times where we get like a pig leg or another animal carcass and let people go at it. And there's a few people that some of my students started carrying knives, and I asked them why, like why, like you live in a good part of town, sort of thing. But anyway, say one of the guys, after he saw what a knife would do, just with even like a shitty swipe at a carcass, changed his perspective on blade carrying, and everything else. I
Yep,
brought a bread
for
knife,
sure.
and that bread knife was amazing. It cut better than most knives. Like oh yeah, it cuts through, like, especially like denim and stuff like that. It cuts through a lot easier than a lot of blades will.
Interesting. I might have
And
to
folks who are
attempt that.
watching, please do not listen to Renee in that last paragraph.
Good
Training
training
tips
tips.
from one
It was
Renee.
a training. It was a training bread knife.
It was a train. Oh, even more. Oh my gosh. Now you said it was a training bread knife. That
Forgot
makes
to mention that it was a training bread knife.
all the sense now. So, so um, when did you? I know I asked this years ago. When did you start doing the winter camps? When did you start doing
Say
the
it
winter
again.
camps?
Winter camps. We've been trying to figure out that exact date because I started doing my annual summer camp in out in New Mexico in '97. Um, we didn't
Sure.
start doing winter camps until I think somewhere in the beginning of the 2000s. So I would say we're probably, I think it was 2002 or
Oh, so you're 20 years in.
2003,
Okay. Okay.
somewhere around, yeah, somewhere around there. So the winter camp's been a long time. We've just recently gotten more into some spring and fall camps at some of my specific areas, around the country that have programs. But yeah, the two that pretty much have been gone since late '90s, early 2000s are my summer and winter
Summer
camp.
and winter. And
Summer's usually Colorado or New
winter
Mexico,
camp.
and winter camp's always down here in Florida because all of the
Oh,
snowbirds
I can
get the
tell you
heck
that
out in the
much.
cold.
I tell you, I look so forward to getting out here around that time. It's like because you've gone through January, which is just miserable up here, Matter of fact, it's gonna be single digits and 0 degrees or below zero these next few days here. It's just like so yeah, but and I'm so bummed this year, but yeah, if you're still good, I mean, next year, man, sure,
Oh yeah, man, you
I
you have a
mean,
standing
just get that.
invitation. I'm just bummed we can't
Yeah,
have you there
believe me,
this
I
year.
am too. I know. I'm just like, but well,
Wait, is
Plus,
this
you've
the
done
camp?
so many
Sorry,
new programs with Burton
I
that,
know.
like, holy crap!
Dean, is this the camp you were
I
saying that
was like
you
trying
didn't
to
want to
figure
go
out, like,
to?
No, that's just, he's just trying to
You're making
cause trouble.
excuses.
He's just trying.
Oh, I'm not supposed to say anything. Never mind, never mind. Anyways, Chad, we really,
Dean
he
loves it.
really wanted to
Dean
go,
loves
but
it.
he can't.
I'm telling, no, this is one of my favorites. I have two favorites. I have Chad's and Mike and May Williams do one around October, November. Um, and but yeah, those two I really enjoyed. It's just the people there, and so ego free on both. There's no pretentiousness, and you're able just to navigate through people. Yeah, so. Yeah, I really enjoyed both of those. Yeah. Um,
Nice, nice.
yeah, when you
Well,
get
we're
older,
gonna
man,
miss
you
you.
just don't want to deal with you just don't want to deal with negativity. Just, you know what I mean? I'm not gonna, you know what I mean? Like, why? I don't have to, you know. Yeah, but yeah, I got the new stuff to show, like the Pontucan and yeah, Zulu.
Pontoon, Tomahawk, Zulu. Um, I'm up to the fourth module in Battlefield Staff, so I got some stuff I want to talk to you about that too,
Yeah,
and and maybe do a
yeah,
class
yeah,
on
yeah,
that
for
next time
sure.
too.
Yeah,
Oh, and Burton's new cooking book too, like
Maybe next year
Battlefield
we get
Chili
you
and
in
all
for
that.
two
That's great.
days.
Battlefield Chili is not out.
Battlefield Chili.
It's not out yet. Not for the street.
Oh,
It's not out
oh,
yet.
is it chili for the streets? The
It's
cooking book
not.
that.
That is not out yet. That's still in the making. Yeah, we could do. Yeah, let me talk. Yeah, because that would be actually 2 days. This way, I wouldn't have to feel compelled and rushed to kind of like jam everything in there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 2 days. We get you
Yeah,
three
that would be neat.
classes.
Yeah, then I could do those. True.
You
Yeah,
know,
that would be. Yeah, Eric, and Eric wouldn't care. Yeah, no, that would work better for sure. Yeah. So we
I'm bummed I'm not going to
I
see
know
Eric and
for
Fritz
the
this
goons.
year.
I know. I know. Or all next year. So what was I say there? What was the inspiration for you to kind of create the camp?
Um, well, I mean, I guess it's what happened to summer camp that you know. Okay, no. Now that I'm thinking about it, I think it was 2000. No, it was 2006. Would have been the year that winter camp started because 2006 was the first summer camp that I had a
Oh,
guest
so this would be your
instructor
20th year.
from
Okay.
from from 95 to 2006. I pretty much taught all the classes at my camp. Friday,
That's gotta be.
Saturday,
Oh my
Sunday. I
freaking
was
god.
exhausted at the end of Sunday, and eventually I got some black belts and I had them start teaching some classes. But it wasn't until 2006 that I invited a good friend of mine, Mike Casto, who does Penchak Silat. I invited him to come be a guest instructor at my camp
Hmm.
in Santa Fe because three of my guys were testing for black belt. And so I was like, okay, I want to have a guest instructor. I want them to do some stuff, that they're not completely familiar with, and kind of look at how they deal with, things they're learning on the spot. And it was fantastic. And once I realized, like, oh man, I have friends who do martial arts and they would probably love to come to these things and teach. I started inviting friends, to be guest instructors. And yeah, it just turns out that I have some really great friends in martial arts, particularly in FMA.
Yeah.
And so most of the instructors at, I would call most of the instructors at my camp my friends.
Yeah, no, no. I mean, it's like
For sure.
like Andre said, it's more, it's more like a family gathering. You know what I mean, as opposed to quote unquote like a
Yeah,
seminar. Have
for sure.
Yeah, it's yeah, no, it's great. It really is. I mean,
Hey, let me give you this year's roster before I forget it. Um, so we got Brahm and Bruce, like
those are
always,
two
the
staples,
two
right?
staples. Brahm will do probably a smattering of different things that he does. Last time I think he
Crimpet.
did crimp first, and then knife second, and then bolo third. So that was fantastic. Everybody really enjoyed. Bruce, of course, who will not only teach class but will make us all laugh. Of course, he always does. Roland Rivera is coming down from North Carolina. Um, we got Ray Dianaldo coming this year. I had talked to him at Legacy up in Connecticut with Brian, and asked him if he'd come. And he's actually having his camp, his FCS camp, the weekend before that last January 31st and February 1st. And then he's coming over to my camp and bringing some of his guys over as well. So that'll be awesome. Dan Lohman, of course, one of my good friends and fellow Floridians, and he'll be doing Combaton, and usually some Kali Silvestrissimo and whatever other things he wants to throw in. We did some Largo from Cristino Vasquez one year. That was awesome. So yeah, it's cool to do anything with Dan. We got Chris LaCava coming in again, Stockton Multi-Style. We'll see what Chris has in store for us. And then the newly promoted Guru Jason May will
Nice,
be
nice,
teaching as
nice.
well.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to next year, man. I was so bummed. Like, remember telling her I got to go tell him I can't. I was just
Sorry, what's the date for this camp?
February
always the
6th, 7,
first
8.
weekend in February, right? Correct, right?
Always
Gotcha,
first full weekend in February.
gotcha,
Which
gotcha.
is weird because Dean wanted to have the first 355 camp and
Oh my
around the same
god.
time. So we got to talk about this, Dean, because I don't like this competing with our friends thing. Not cool.
Anywhere he can start trouble or create a riff, or what I mean? It's,
I'm not
man,
into politics. I'm into starting them.
yeah.
Just quietly water them.
And then, oops, I guess time to, oh my, how the time's getting
How,
away. Gotta
how
go.
does that happen? Why are you guys not talking? Damn.
So when you started this camp some 20 years ago, was it always 3 days or did you start out, it was always kind of 2 or 3 days?
Yeah, I mean, um, we usually, I would say up until probably the last 10 years, we did Friday evening. Usually didn't start until end of work time, just because, to give people a
Mm,
chance if they were local to get out of work and run over to camp. But we've started, training earlier now, just to get training in. A lot of people who come to this camp, they're flying in, beforehand. And so they're jonesing to get training anyway. So it's like, let's get started early. We started instructor camp at noon. I think we're starting winter camp at 2. So yeah, it just, um, yeah.
nice. So what's also really unique, I want people to realize that are watching is it's not also modern eccentric as you just bet. I mean, like just from the folks, like obviously, me coming like I don't, I couldn't teach modern East if I wanted to.
No. None of the guest instructors are expected to teach modern Arnis unless they're modern
Yeah, no,
Arnis
I think
guys.
that's neat because
Brahman's going to give his blade
mm,
version of modern Arnis always. Bruce is going to do his tappy tappy magic. And Roland's always got tricks up his sleeve. He's had some amazing
yeah,
classes the
so
last
I think
couple
that's really
years.
neat because
So
everybody that goes there, what I mean, they're exposed to just so many different stuff, um, and
yeah. And I'm always asking my guys too, like at instructor camp, I asked everybody like, hey, what do you want to see from Dan Lohman this year? What do you want to see from Dean? What do you want to see? If Chris Lakava comes, and that way I can kind of get a sense of what
Mm.
everybody's jonesing for. That way, you know, making classes that
Yeah,
everybody's
yeah.
hungry.
No, no. I think that's really neat that you. I hope your students appreciate you because not a lot of instructors do that where they expose their students to all these folks that you got coming in. You know what I mean?
Oh, it's like
Um,
Dean. Dean exposes himself to his students all the time. Oh,
I'm
Yeah, I've
I
heard
trying.
wasn't
that.
supposed to. I wasn't supposed to say that
I'm
either.
trying.
Sorry.
I'm trying to keep that down, and that's a private matter between me and my students.
Sure, it's private.
No pun intended. Oh my god! You see what I got to deal with, Chad?
Hey, it
That's
keeps you
true.
laughing,
Yeah.
right?
No, that's a great point. Yeah, that's a great point because man, with this weather, there hasn't been much to laugh about. I'm telling you.
I don't think Renee would let you get too
No,
serious.
no, oh, that's for sure. Even despite my efforts, yeah.
Well,
Uh,
he could get serious. I just, I'll probably make a joke about
yeah. So,
it.
let me see here. That's okay. Here we go. Yeah, that's really the thing that Chad could do is that he can curate all these different personalities. That's another thing too, juggling personalities, right? For sure.
Yeah, I mean, I think the reason that it works is because almost everybody who comes is one of my really,
Yeah.
really good friends, and so, there's not really going to be a problem. But we've had some instructors who've come in and they, they've come and gone.
I know exactly what you
um,
mean.
but it
Like maybe there was some ego, maybe there's some a little of that, some a little of this.
Yeah, so I mean, I just I try to invite the people back who are showing me that they really appreciate being there, and so that's one of the reasons you always get an invitation, because you're always very appreciative of the time that you get to
Yeah,
spend with
100.
everybody there, and to um, to basically get them doing some of the
Yeah,
stuff
man, get
you're doing, which
away.
is
I
I think
can't wait to see
fantastic.
that side of Dean when I invite him back up here.
Well,
I haven't. He just shows up. It's like take me out for dinner, and then it's like, where's
oh
my
my
money?
God.
And
Lies,
he's like,
lies,
okay, for
all
the first half
lies.
hour, I want other people.
Lies.
I still haven't. I need my sleep, so you take the first half of the seminar. It's
All,
yeah. So, but
all
anyways,
lies, lies, lies. All.
it's crazy. Chad, it's crazy. Like there's a. You're telling me a whole different side of Dean I've never seen before.
Oh my God. See what I mean? See, got to deal with. He's just
And I'm not
all.
saying that because I'm on my 15th pack of gummies here, but and these are regular gummies, just in case anybody's
Here's the
wondering.
thing, too, Chad. As the more candy that gets consumed, the more the antics come
Possibly,
Sugar
across.
rush.
possibly.
so, so you, so each of your camps, you try to do a theme, like I guess
Yeah,
what
yeah.
generates that?
This year's theme is learning, drilling, and fighting. What's the difference in training? So I kind of want the instructors to kind of speak to the old teaching axiom of you teach beginners techniques, you teach the intermediates concepts, and you teach the advanced creativity and how to fight.
I like that theme though. Huh? Interesting. Renee would just jump right to like
So
getting inside with the
No,
punyo and trying
no.
to.
Actually, I remember this is going a long time ago. I was teaching at a camp, and I taught they broke it up into beginner, intermediate, and advanced. And the advanced guys who went first, when some of the guys swung by the beginner class, they're like, "Hey, that's the exact same thing we were doing." I'm like, "Yes."
It's just you were doing it.
It just, you're gonna pick different things up, but the basics are what's gonna take you to the advanced, right?
Oh my gosh, that's funny. Wow. So, what I guess with your themes, like, because man, you've had 20 now. Like, um, what makes you, I guess, come up with a particular theme? Like, what is there an Is it like a recent inspiration, or is it you try to just, um,
Yeah, it was that was something that came up at instructor camp, because we had a pretty varied range this year at instructor camp. We had some pretty new instructors, and then we obviously had Jason, completing the instructor program. So, we kind of had the full spectrum. So it made everybody think of like, oh, wait a minute, this person's pretty new. I'm gonna probably go technique mode with them and not necessarily jump right into
mm,
drilling and flow. Let's make sure they got the movements down first, and then we'll jump into some drilling, and then we'll talk about flow and fighting. So I think it just kind of it was just natural from the things we talked about at instructor camp, and wanting everybody, at least from a teaching standpoint, to realize that you can't teach everybody the same. Um, and the good instructors are teaching everybody in the room, but they're teaching them all differently. Like they're doing things for the beginners so that the beginners can see the technique, and then they're doing concepts for the intermediate people to make sure they're not just bored with the technique, but hey, this is a concept that I can look at variation and options, and then the advanced people are like, how can I be creative with this, and how's this gonna help me in my overall training and fighting. So I think it's just kind of a natural progression, but the really good teachers do that. They do that automatically. When I watch Bruce teach, when I watch Brian Zolowinski teach, they're teaching to every person in the room, and they're teaching completely differently, for each of those people,
depending on the audience,
depending on
and
their
I
level.
got you.
So
Yeah,
uh, that's what we got to aspire to, I
yeah,
guess.
yeah, right. And what and for the folks who and folks, if you're watching, those you want now, you can obviously you can stay right on the campground. I mean, most do. Am I correct in that?
Yeah, yeah. We have a lot of people tent camping this year. We've been like the last few years. We've been at the real big pavilion there at Peace River. So we got a ton of space for tent camping. So yeah, I think we're over a dozen people who are tent camping this year. So we'll have a lot of people right on site. We got a couple RVs for the instructors, and I think there might be another RV for some of the other people who didn't want to tent. And I know Brom and some of them stay over at the hotel in Arcadia, which is always an option. Um, so, but yeah, there's definitely different ways to do it. Tent camping's the cheapest because it's included in your
You
campsite.
can't beat that, right? You just
So
yeah.
you know everything's included. We got paella on Saturday night. I got a good chef coming in to
You
cook
got
some
so you
nice
actually got like
paella.
a Spanish chef coming
Um,
in, or just yeah? I hate
yeah, yeah.
Spanish food. Yeah.
Yeah, he's actually doing two this year. We usually only do the one that has chicken and sausage and ham, just because I don't like to do the seafood one because
Oh, you might
people
do
might
some
be allergic,
allergies and
to
stuff.
certain
Yeah.
things. Yeah, so we just normally do the regular meats, but he's also going to make in a separate pan. He's going to make a seafood paella as well.
Yeah.
So we're gonna have
And you guys do
both.
that annually, right? The paella.
Yeah, the paella is kind of everybody loves that on Saturday night because Saturday is the long training day. We start 8 a.m. with Tai Chi and Qigong, and then we pretty much go up till about 7 p.m. When we have the paella. So long training day, so
So,
everybody's ready to
does
eat.
he put Serrano ham in that? I'm such a sucker for that
Yeah.
stuff, man. If that was something around, I'd go bankrupt. I'm telling you. Yeah. Um,
Yes, like Andre said, the paella is
how about
very
you, Renee? You've had to
good.
have that, no?
Who, me?
Yeah,
Yeah, I grew up on
I was gonna say.
it. Yeah,
Renee's mother was full Spanish, so
yeah, I lived
yes,
there. Yeah, I was.
Yeah, man,
That's
you would love it. You would love it.
yeah.
yeah. It's yeah. We There's a place in Alicante, in Spain, where you actually serve it with like a lamb's head, which I thought was pretty cool. Yeah,
Shoo.
yeah, it was pretty good.
God, coming in just for yeah, no kidding. So what like are you got to be like really happy. I mean, you obviously you get fantastic feedback. I can't say anybody's speaking negatively on your camp. I mean, is there anything that like on the future horizon? Like, is there anything you want to change? I mean, don't break. Obviously, don't fix what's not broken. But um, anything that comes to mind?
Yeah, I got some things cooking because I would like to get to the point where I have a location where we run these camps, as opposed to us going to a
Oh, you want?
campground
I
or
gotcha.
to
Okay.
um, a facility, because I mean I love doing the camps, but it's really hard to do anything other than break even because you got to pay out for everything.
Oh,
So
yeah, yeah. Like you got the
um,
key to
I would love it to get to the point where maybe I could actually make a living running these camps, and if I had a place, that'd be
So,
awesome.
would you try to get obviously somewhere that was in Miami or close?
No, North Florida.
Oh, North Florida. Okay, okay. So, would you actually
Yeah,
think
North
about
Florida.
like
Probably
moving, or you
somewhere.
would just get a? Oh, okay,
Yep,
gotcha.
yep.
Like
I
a
would love
Dearborn
to get out
area.
of Miami. Like north of Orlando. Somewhere in the hills of Ocala or up near Gainesville, even. Anywhere around there, as long as it's
Oh, I didn't know
rural,
you wanted to get out of
out in the middle
Miami.
of
Okay,
nowhere.
all right. Okay,
Yeah,
yeah, because you're kind of on the you're on the outside. I mean, you're not. Yeah, if I recall correctly,
Yeah, my in-laws have a
yeah,
place in
yeah.
Florida,
I
so
live
we're
right on the
looking at
edge
making it down there
of
more often.
Miami.
yeah. Um,
Yeah, yeah. I love Florida. It's just that the traffic in Miami has gotten kind of unbearable, and yeah,
yeah, something up north, nice and quieter, campground. So you would try to,
exactly. I can visit
yeah,
Miami
yeah,
anytime I want.
yeah, exactly, right, exactly. So up north, like Gainesville area, Ocala, and then you would try to kind of house slash property slash.
I mean, I got hundreds of friends who are advanced instructors in martial arts, and a lot of them run camps. So I think if I had a place where
Yeah.
they could run a camp, I don't think I'd have a problem filling up most of the weekends every year.
No, I mean, no, I think there's something. I think you can make something out of that. Like, and then, like you were saying, your overhead now is going to be so significantly lower, right? You know. Yeah. No, I
Yep.
know. Yeah, you got paid the campground. I mean, everything else. I mean, folks coming in. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I think both of the camps that I ran were close to like 15 grand. Like it was stupid. It was crazy. And I think on both of them I lost a couple
Yep.
grand here and
It gets
there. It's just
expensive.
so
Yep.
yeah, if
It
you had a
gets
space
expensive.
and you have a cook that can take care
And
of all the
prices have
cooking,
not gone down.
I'll
that's
know.
it. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, yeah, I agree.
Jay.
Yeah, that's
Miss you, brother Jay.
yeah. I give you credit because that can't. That's a lot. I don't think. I think when people go there, it's very easy to lose sight of like what goes into this, the planning, the coordination, setting up the times for folks and the meal times, etc.,
Yeah.
etc.
Well, and that's by design because one of the things that I want them to do while they're at camp is not think
No, and
about
you do
getting
that
back to camp.
well.
You know, it's like I try to take care of as much of that as
Yeah.
possible because I want them dropping all that
Rahel,
baggage at the door and just having, 3 days of, train, have fun, build community with everybody they're training with and leave, feeling fantastic. And then they can pick their baggage back up at the end. So,
what if you opened
it's
up a
like
daycare?
I want that's why I go
You'd
through the
have your own
process of
space,
providing all that.
Oh God.
right? Like if you open up a daycare, like it would be like a training daycare, you get some subsidized for it, and it's you could
In
actually make a lot of
Minnesota,
money.
it'd probably work really well.
Yeah, I think so. I think so.
Oh my goodness, folks.
Master Chad's Leering Center.
No, but back to that. You do that well though. Like like it seems very well planned, coordinated. I don't see people like, oh, well, when's, like far from that. So I think everybody, I think they're at ease. You know what I mean? So whatever you're doing, you're doing it well. So, um, yeah. But 20 years, this is your 20, man. That's awesome, awesome, awesome. Um, if you
Yeah,
moved
this
up there, yeah, like not only the overhead obviously be lower, but you get the frequency. You can actually, you can, do more obviously, right?
sure, and I'm closer to a lot of people who might even want to drive in, as opposed to flying. We got a lot of people in North Carolina and Georgia, and I saw some of the Georgia people on earlier. So yeah, it's North Florida would be, I think, fantastic because I'd still be able to represent in Florida and still be close enough, for all my Florida friends. But might open the door to make it easier for some of the people in the Eastern Corridor
Yeah,
to
yeah,
make
you
it
got
into
South
camp
Carolina, right?
easier.
South Carolina, Georgia, right? And not only that, then if you knew some folks kind of there where Alabama kind of is over there as well, not too far. Yeah,
Yep.
wow, 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 wow. So
My parents just moved to Tennessee, so North Florida is a whole lot shorter drive to Tennessee than from Miami.
it's funny you mention that. There's a lot of folks like Connecticut, New York, the big places they were going. First, it was Florida, Carolinas, of course, has been getting a lot in New York, Connecticut. But now, because they're not getting flooded or completely, but Tennessee now has become the new place for where they're checking out. You know?
Yep, they're really enjoying it.
Yeah, no, I've heard.
They're
Yeah.
really enjoying it.
Um,
Uh,
so what are your goal? I mean, like, what are your goal besides the camp? Like, you got the summer camp, you got the winter camp. Like, I mean, because I know you're doing the acupuncture and all that still and everything. So, like, how are you able to still run like classes and etc.?
yeah, I pretty much keep a 2 class a week schedule for Tai Chi and 2 classes for Arnis. Um, I mean, I don't run the weekend classes obviously when I'm out of town for camps. But a lot of times I'll have one of my seniors, either one of my black belts or one of my senior students in Tai Chi, run the classes when I'm out of town. Um, and then yeah, I don't know. I mean, camp goals. I just want to get to having eight camps a year that are just kind of running like clockwork. And right now we're running at six. Um, Summer camp, winter camp, spring camp, east and west, fall
So where are
camp,
your
east and
east and
west.
west? Where are your
Um,
camps? Where your fall camps at?
West is Colorado and east
And
is
what about
Buffalo.
your same thing with this the spring?
And same for
Buffalo.
spring, exactly. Yep, they get
So you got
two
all
two
right. So
camps in a
what do
year.
you Colorado? I know and Buffalo. So you got somebody modern east.
Currently, Colorado has the biggest saturation of black belts because um, we got Jason, Phil, Garrett, Randy, Anthony, Tomas, and Chandra, all working out of Colorado. So a lot of people, a lot of my people there. So that's always a big draw because there's a lot of
Mm.
local people who are going to want to hit that
Wow,
that.
wow, yeah. I
So
saw the picture, the ones you post. It looked like Colorado was the. Um,
yep, and then Ben Aldridge is my rep up in Buffalo, actually out in Alden, and yeah, he's doing a fantastic job, and he's built a nice sized program that we're getting in those regular seminars and camps. So yeah, he's doing
wow,
fantastic.
wow, wow, wow. So you got six. You would like to get to eight. That's wow. Okay. And so, like, what are your personal future goals outside of the camps? Like your personal growth. What would you like to do?
Um, I'm really looking forward to finishing Battlefield Staff and um, integrating some of the training concepts into what we're doing because I just like the training model, and so as soon as I saw kind of the training model, I was like, well, we can do all of his stuff and we can do all our stuff in the same training model and get realistic sparring practice with all of it. Um, so yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. Just kind of that synthesis that I think will happen. Um, I'm continuing my training in Kokoi dos Paris, Kokoi Cañete dos Paris, under Zach Whitson. So working on my fifth grade black belt at the moment. Um, and Largo. Largo's my big research project. I'm just I look for as many
Mm.
different perspectives and as many different ways of explaining the exact same thing so that I can understand it better.
You, yeah, Largo. Yeah, I mean, like obviously, Lightning, Heron system. Yeah, if you want
Yeah, well,
Largo, man, with
that's
the
that's one
Elastico and
that's one that I that definitely need some. Maybe I ask Chris
yeah, like
LaCava to
it's got to
focus on
be
it
in
at
a
all.
multi-Stockton. I
Um,
know it's in there along with Cabalas and Derek Warlis. I mean,
ah,
um, KI,
yeah, yeah.
me,
No, KI's he's
obviously,
cool right now for Largo, and I ask as many questions as I can of
yeah.
as many people
So
as I
the
can.
staff, back to staff. You like what I really do. You join the preface and suffix on the and on this. Yeah,
Yeah, for sure, and just that the 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 entry methods that he uses are one of the ways that we think about it, but then we have a whole bunch of other entries that we
mm,
could use in the same
yeah.
context. Um, and then we've definitely been putting suffixes at the end of all of it with a lot of the things that we do in our forms. So um, yeah, there's some really cool throws that come out
Mm.
of those entries, like and I don't know,
Oh,
I'm not
I
making
loved it. It was one of
anything
my. I really enjoyed
it's
that
something I do.
program. Yeah, it's yeah, they're coming in. Some of the clinch and stuff like that. It was that was a fun program. Yeah,
Yeah, and actually, I want to talk to Burton because looking at all of the stuff, yeah, we do a lot of entering, and then you're in what I would call the Silat space, like that,
oh yeah,
the
Kenji can come out of
clinch,
there if
type
you once
area.
you go into there. No, there's definitely stuff that can. Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Oh
just
yeah,
so
yeah.
so
No,
many
for sure.
connections
There's
there.
definitely. Yeah.
And yeah, one of the things that has come up in my Largo research, especially with Kali Silvestrissimo, is a Silat connection. Um, that there's definitely the way the footwork works. Having had so much experience with Silat with Uncle Bill, um, when we do certain things in Kali Silvestrissimo, I look down at my feet and I'm like, I'm set up to do all this silat. Like, it's right there. So I
No, if you
can't
look
just
at
make a
Ricketts, I can't
coincidence.
speak
I
on
can't just
Hero, and Yuli obviously has, some different stuff. But from Ricketts, if you look at their very pronounced Equis footwork, it's kind of reverse like of
uh-huh.
there. I mean, there's definitely some parallel. Matter of fact, there was a vid floating around with Ilishisumo, like he actually was in close and actually did a head tilt takedown. I mean, he was definitely exposed. Yeah,
Yeah, it's all there. It's all
yeah.
there, the entries and the way you're striking is putting you in those positions, like naturally. I don't You don't even have to think about it, and it's like I said, I just kind of looked
You
down
know
and
what
I
was
was
the
like,
key
oh,
thing?
there's a
Yeah,
soft
you know
move.
what
I
was the
can
key thing
sweep
for me
there.
was two hips on one.
Sorry,
Two.
two girls, one what?
That's the other technique. Right now, I'm talking about two. No, two. Yeah. So, but the two hips on one is what really. Yeah. So,
Yep. Yep. So yeah, I mean, those are the things that I've been continually exploring. Um, I have I have a whole other side, the internal arts side that I've been doing, trying to finishing up my study of dragon
mm,
shaped bagua, um, and yeah, so just working all those things I've been doing for
I think you'll
24
like.
years now.
I think you'll like his tomahawk, and I think you'll get appreciation just for the simplicity of how he's dressing the Panatukan. I think you'll.
Well, that's really what one of the reasons I had asked you if you were going to come to do the Ponantucan was, a lot of the Ponantucan I have in PA is a lot of the old Inasanto drills
Yeah.
that I learned when I was training with them. So I just wanted to see, is he doing some of the similar matrices? Is a completely different thing. So I think
Yeah, no, it really is. And he goes, and it is obviously Anasano influence. I mean, Bird's and there's no, and but it's the way.
actually there's another reference for Largo that I
What's
totally
that?
forgot that has made a big difference for me in the last 2 years.
Oh,
The
yeah, yeah,
Zion
yeah.
Corto. Yeah, Jay when Jay came here and gave us the class, the pendulum,
Mm.
that I think is such a key method of you starting to learn how to gauge Largo, and just feel comfortable, at that range. So, yeah, I really really appreciated that, and we've definitely been doing a lot of Largo pendulum. Um, it's something we've added into training a lot. And
Yeah.
thank you, Jay. We totally appreciate
But
it.
no, for sure.
Um, yes, that's it. That's right. I'm ready too, Jay. We got to figure that out.
Yeah, next year we definitely could show you the Pontotocan, the tomahawk. You guys, your folks got
Yep.
decent trainer tomahawks.
I have a few. I can definitely bring those, and I can always let them know ahead of
They're
time
they're
to
really
make sure
reasonable
anybody who's
on
got
cold
some
steel.
great
They're
stuff.
really reasonable, and it's really easy where you're not killing one another. You take the foam noodles, you just cut section and you tape them on there, so you can make contact without anybody going home. Like because they're hard plastic,
Nice,
but they're sturdy.
nice. I think.
Except for when you go with Renee. I mean, no. Where's your dog? No. That's it. That's it. So all I did is I just cut pieces of the pool noodle, just tape them on
Gotcha.
there, and you can really you can make contact, and you don't like. I mean, I didn't do it with
Yeah.
the hand, but if you hit somebody's the ulnar bone or it could be really painful on some of the guys.
I can send you a picture of a tomahawk,
Nice.
one of those rubber ones that hit somebody in the face with a mask on. It was pretty brutal.
That's what I mean. Yeah. Wow, with one of those, huh? Oof.
Oh yeah, yeah. It split the mask and Could waffle the guy pretty good.
Yeah, if you
None of
want
us
to,
laughed. None of us laughed. We
none of,
waited a few
none of
minutes.
you guys laughed.
When we realized the person was conscious, then we started laughing a little bit. So it was a good hit.
But yeah, if you want to retrain training partners, I would
Yeah.
suggest. Yeah,
And you should never take a real tomahawk and just file the edge off. That doesn't do anything.
it's got a dull edge. It's it's fine. You'll be fine with hockey
Man, we,
gloves.
we we haven't seen Bill in class for a long time. I didn't know what happened to him. No.
They're still taking
Uh,
the metal out of his forehead.
no, I think I think he left town.
so so how can folks? All right, so um, folks obviously get a hold of you for the camp. And folks, here, let me just put this up there. Uh,
Yeah, they can reach me on Facebook. They can email me at chad@shinwellness.com. Um, and
can
yeah,
you,
Instagram,
if you, I'm
ChadB305.
thinking if you can, in the comment section, can you copy paste like the your event thing there?
Also, we should let people
Sure.
know that if they
Hold
use
on.
code ChadMad2000, they will get 0% off on camp.
Oh my god, you will get nothing off.
You will get nothing off, but you will learn.
Oh my god.
All right, I think it's there.
It is. So folks, here we go. If you're interested, it's you can get it if you particularly if you live in the Northeast, little getaway, great people. Sounds like the Saturday
Kat, do you have
meal.
any videos of the camps at all that are up that people can see anywhere?
That's a good question. I know Wendell just did a review video. I don't know if I can find that quick, but
Well, that's a good
let's
idea,
see.
actually.
I'm full of good ideas.
I know. That's why you're here. You're just off the cuff. You just come up with these amazing ideas.
Well, Glenn wants to know what the price is.
Glenn Sobe?
I can't pronounce his last name. Sure.
Yeah, it's for him
Oh, here we go.
2000. Eric was saying that trees was life changing. Eric, please. Mm. The price is a price no matter who you know. I think for you,
Oh, you know
Glenn, they're
what?
going to
Here,
raise it though when they hear you're coming out of California.
So, sorry, Dean, you're going to California mid-February, right?
But for no,
Oh, okay.
on the 6th and 7th,
The 6th and 7th?
that's what you're trying to. I feel bad. Seriously, I really wanted to go so bad. I mean, this is like I'm serious. Like you know how you just need that like that. You look forward to that getting away at the weather. Like you really look forward to it. Well, that's my weekend, and the, yeah. So
There you go. I just posted
ah,
it's Wendell's review video
got it.
from
Here it is,
the whole
folks.
year.
Nice, and that was 2025. Okay,
Yep. This is all the 2025
nice. And
camps.
it's kind of all right. So it's a whole kind of all right. Neat. All right, nice. I want to check that out. Actually, all right. So it's kind of like a medley, just a whole.
Yeah, exactly. Just clips from
Nice.
different camps,
All
guest
right.
instructors.
Yeah. So, what do you got? Any final thoughts or words to the community?
Um, Pre-registration ends
This
this
Friday.
Friday,
Okay.
so if you're thinking of coming, figure it out quick. Definitely prices go up if you come at the door day of the event. So let me know. Even if you want to pay at the door, let me know now, and that way, I have you registered, and that way you get your
Okay,
pre-reg
yeah,
prices.
yeah. Let me see here. I think I was going to miss the driveway. Yeah, that too. That too. Yeah,
Driveway
yeah.
lessons,
So I get there
nice.
Friday. I try to give him some information, and then we make the trek over there like Saturday morning. But I think that's a good idea on your part, like you were saying. Like maybe go like on a Friday night, do something, and then besides the Saturday or or Sunday, whatever. I mean, works out. But
Well, yeah, you figure out which one's best for you. If Friday or
yeah,
Sunday, and that way, we can get you
then I
for the
could
whole
give you like
weekend.
3 modules. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Uh,
That'd be
nice.
cool.
Well, hey, I really hope you guys have a great one this year. And again, if I haven't already said it, I'm really disappointed I can't go. Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
just
we're
like,
gonna miss you. We'll take you. Well, I'm gonna
I
take a
really
picture and send it
appreciate
to
that.
you
And
just
can you
to
do with everybody
just to
having
tease
like
you,
fun and the food and all that, and just
for sure,
that would be very.
for
Thank you.
sure.
That would be very nice of you. Well, awesome. But hey, thank you for coming on. And also, yeah, and just so you know, don't ever hesitate to reach. I mean, yeah, that's never going to be an issue. You got the green light anytime you want to come on here. So don't think.
Wait. So he gets the green light
Sweet.
to call you whenever he wants, and I gotta like send you text messages
And yes, I'm
and
sorry.
ask for permission. Huh.
See what I got to deal. I'm see what I got to deal with. This is
All
like
right.
I'm telling you.
I see how this works. No
I love
worries.
it. I
It's
love
I'm telling you.
it.
It's like
Thanks for
anytime,
having me on, Dean.
seriously.
I
And
really
if it's like
appreciate it.
another camp in another state or something you're doing, don't hesitate to ask. I'd be would be more than happy to do it. Yeah. You got
Cool.
the green light.
Thank you so
So
much.
um,
Renee, nice meeting you virtually. Hopefully I get to see you in person soon.
Yeah, well, like I was saying, we got a place in Florida that we're going to be going to on a regular basis. So one day I'll hop in, I'll just go for a drive, and maybe we can meet up.
yeah.
Awesome.
Hey
That
John, when's
sounds
the next time you're
fantastic.
coming up here?
Sorry, what's that?
Um,
Oh,
I'll be up the end of February to Buffalo. It's not a martial arts seminar. It's actually a Tuina massage seminar. Teaching my
Okay.
Buffalo group
What about like
Chinese massage system.
what about Connecticut? Any camps going on? Um,
Yeah, I don't have the list of all of them in front of me, but yeah, I got a spring camp at the end of March in Colorado, and then a spring camp in Buffalo in April. I got a 1 day seminar in Orlando, Claremont in May. I'm teaching at the Shurite camp at the end of June, and Rocky Mountain Thunder at the beginning of June. Bruce and I usually do a seminar in Jacksonville at the beginning of July, and then we'll have summer camp at the end of July. I think Ben is having his annual summer camp in Buffalo in August, and it's his 25th year in the martial arts. So he's doing it up big this year. So I'm going to go up for that. Um, then October, fall camp in Buffalo, and November, fall camp in Colorado, and then instructor camp second week in
so
December.
you so is like Brian having you back up here anytime soon?
Not until 2027.
Next,
The next
okay.
legacy camp is 2027, and I know he's kind of half and half whether or not he's going to do it in Connecticut again. He's actually thinking about moving it. He talked about maybe Orlando area or potentially North
More
Carolina
folk,
area.
get
So
more folks.
not
Yeah,
sure. Yeah,
hey,
it's
let me
more
let me know
maybe a
when
more
you're in.
saturation area where more people.
got it.
Let me know when you're in Buffalo because I'm only about an hour and 15 away from there. So I'm actually pretty close to
Cool.
Buffalo.
I'll definitely send you.
Yeah, yeah. That'd be neat. You guys can meet up.
Sweet.
So, all right. Well, awesome, Chad. Take care, man. Obviously, we'll be in touch. But yeah, again, any of
Oh,
those
and we'll
events
we'll
coming
have to
up,
let Dean know as well. Otherwise, he gets jealous and angry. Then he doesn't pick up my calls anymore.
because I'm so like that. You know what I mean? I that's just my personality type. You know what I mean?
Like you saw Chad in Buffalo and didn't let me know.
You did,
And I just
bye, Renee. Bye, Renee. But yeah, just let me know. I'd be more than happy to bring you on what you got coming up. So, all right. Well,
Sweet.
take care, man. All right.
Awesome, guys.
That was a good one. I hope he does well this year. It's a really good camp. Nice people. You know what I mean? No egos. It's just, yeah, nice people. Like if you went there, like you would ruin it. You know what
oh, I know.
I mean? That was a nice thing for me to say.
No,
That was,
but it's the truth. It's the truth.
you know, I
I
don't
had a
know. I mean,
person
you
that
could bring Renee, but I don't
I
know.
had a person at work introduce me. You know, it's like this is Renee, this night's super, and they're like, "Don't let the tattoos fool you. He will kill you."
Oh, and the little craziness you see in his eye, it's all there.
That means he likes you.
Hey, you want to go out later?
No, what's funny is that the company I'm working for, they had a couple people that they're difficult vendors,
Mm.
and so they're setting them up with me. They're like, "Yeah, just put them in with Renee for a week, and I'll straighten them out." And I'm like, guys, I'm okay with that, but I wouldn't mind just having like a normal week, instead
Maybe
of
like
just.
just. Oh my god! Oh, that's too funny. So who we got next? Who do we have next?
We were working on something, weren't we?
We were. Yes, I got a couple ideas. Mike Brewer, really interesting guy, and certainly we were thinking about Brent Pierce.
Yeah. There's also Arlen and Eric are up for doing a video. What do you call
Oh,
it?
the analysis. Got
Analysis.
it.
There's a couple of prepper dudes I've been talking to that I would love to get on the show just to kind of like see where their headspace is, and how their training and prepping and stuff like that. Because I find that interesting overall.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Well, let me know.
Also, again, and also our idea of opening up our own daycare, I think that would be a good idea as well.
I
Maybe we
just went
can.
down. I just got my license.
You need a license?
Well, in Connecticut. Connecticut is probably the only state you do, but I'm looking at some vacancies right now, commercial vacancies,
All right, I
and
think it'd be great. I can do the carpentry work. We're all good. We're set to go.
I got a couple of vans already.
They don't have to run. We can just pull one behind one another.
Run! I'm just putting them in a parking lot.
Yeah.
Just, just oh my god, we're gonna get freaking kicked off.
So I think that's a great idea. I think a daycare is a good idea.
Yeah, I'm actually so.
Just gotta come up with a good name.
Uh, Leaps and Bounds Learning Center.
Yeah. The Leering Center. Yeah.
The Leaps and Bounds Learning Center, and again, I'm gonna put that also. It'll be on the vans.
Yep.
Um, the windows are gonna be blacked out.
I think. Well, you don't want too much stimulation and light.
Yeah, right. I want the
That's a
kids to
good
be
thing.
even keel and not like constantly asked to go outside. Right. So if the windows are blocked out.
I think it's a great idea. I personally, I wouldn't even spend the money on windows, but hey, can we just paint them on? It's not possible. Maybe put some plexiglass on the outside, make it look like windows.
It's possible. Yeah. So there's the options are endless.
I think so. I think so.
And
If
it's
anybody
funny.
else if anybody else has any ideas, let us know.
And I'm not opposed to getting a really old like Crown Royal or like that, station wagon. Um,
Oh, one of those things. Yeah, yeah.
it was a good episode. Thank you, Jay. Yeah, Jay, and offer goes for you too, Guru Jay. Anytime you want to come on. Awesome, but hey, I'll be in touch.
Hmm.
And yeah, let me know who you if you got anybody in line. If not, I can reach out certainly to Mike Brewer or Brent.
Sounds like a plan.
Awesome.
Sounds like a plan.
All right. Well, always, my friend. Take care, and we'll be in touch.
Yeah, I'll see you in a bit.
All right. Sounds
Take it
good.
easy, guys.
And that wraps up episode 35. Who's next? We already heard about Marshall Matt. FMA discussion. Who is next? It's an interesting question. I gotta just confirm it, but this Sunday somebody could be coming on from England, no less. And so, yeah. But as always, you'll see an FMA discussion pinned, featured, and I'll let you know who's coming aboard. But in the meantime, um, check it out there and for the latest updates as far as interviews in there. And thank you for all that jumped in, watched, commented. Yeah, and definitely check if you can and you want to get away and you happen to live in cold weather like me, like definitely check out going to Chad's. It's really, really a great time. For me, it's kind of a few birds in one stone. Like I get to get away, obviously get to see Chad and share with a bunch of folks down there, and I get to see Eric and Fritz. So it really, I'm really bummed this year I couldn't go, but the kids one's got one thing going and somebody's got to be home with the other kids. Basically, what's going on. But yeah, but next year, you can guaranteed I will absolutely be there. But again, if do check it out, it's a great time. Really, really fun. So, all right, folks. See you next time.